I'm Tracy Koga with something short and fun. This is a Hugh Soundbite. I want to give a big hello, a friendly Winnipeg, Manitoba hello to Alex. And it's so good to have you here. And it's pretty cool. You're in Smithers, BC. No forest fires. The summer has been great. And I guess a little thing called COVID and the pandemic have kind of, I guess, changed the way we do things, and of course you. But it hasn't really stopped you because you've released some amazing new music. And I want to talk about, though, first, your wardrobe. Something that you got nominated or put into a museum.
Oh, yeah, it's a crazy piece of news because it's the first time that I see myself. At the beginning, I have to be honest with you, I don't know, I didn't know how to take it. Is this a cool thing or is this meaning that I'm getting old? I don't know what it is. But yeah, pretty cool. The Grammy Museum in LA, the city of Los Angeles, has now the outfit that I wore to the Latin Grammys last year when I performed. And it's going to be on display there on an exhibition for a whole year. So I think I'm gonna miss my white leather Converse shoes. I think I'm gonna miss my fedora hat. I'm gonna miss all of it. I'm gonna have to wait for a year to come back to me.
Oh, well, you're in some pretty heavy company with Lionel Richie, I hear, and Taylor Swift. So, hey,
Yeah,
you must have done something right.
I think what I've done, maybe what I've done right is to first of all to come to live in such a beautiful place as where I live. Smithers, BC. That allows me to focus and to concentrate and to forge forward, a career of meaning and dignity and all of that, because music is very deep for me. Music is it's my life. I take it very seriously. I make people dance and have fun with my music, but
I
it comes from
know.
a serious place.
But that's,
you know.
yeah, but that's Cuba in you. And I want to know, how did you manage to come to Smithers, BC?
Well, I I moved to Victoria first. I think that if I would have moved from Cuba all the way to Sweden, BC, I don't think I would have stand a chance here to last a winter. To be quite honest, it was a crescendo thing for me. It was a work in progress. It was quite the process. But we spent 4 years in Victoria. I came to Canada the first time in 1995. I was the bass player for one of my father's band. And while in Canada on tour with that band, I met my wife in Vancouver. She was going to university in Vancouver, Simon Fraser. And that was 1995. That same year, we got married. And then began to change for me. She spent a couple of years in Cuba living with me. And then we decided to come. And we went to Victoria first for 4 years. And then after that, our family was already, you know, um, big, I guess. I had two kids so far at that point. I mean, and we decided we needed because I was beginning to travel a lot, and she was staying behind all the time by herself. So we needed to either go to Cuba to be with my family or come to Sweden to be with her family, and at the same time, of course, made have the kids grow in a family environment, And this Smithers was the destination. I think it was my decision. She would have been happy with going to Cuba. She loves Cuba. I love Cuba too. But for me, it was important to remain in North America. I had something inside of me, creatively telling me that from Cuba I was gonna be just a Cuban artist. From Canada, from this place, I have become global. Which is the energy of my music. I don't see differences in people. I see all of us together. I see music as a unifying vehicle, and that is important today more than ever. So
Oh, and that, yeah, leads me to the next question. with all of this, Alex, and being in isolation, and a lot of musicians have been writing and wanting to get back to performing. But again, it's having that voice, right? And you do it beautifully between speaking in your native language and then singing in English. And you've always maintained a real passion for where
Thank
you
you.
grew up. So, why is it that when young musicians right away they have to find their genre, they have to find their sound and what that means and everything like that? For you, was that always, was that something in your mind? It doesn't seem to be, because now you say that you're global.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that is something that sometimes is a little difficult for me to explain, and even more difficult for some people to understand, because people hear Cuba. What do you mean? They people seem to know, uh, that they know a lot about Cuba and stuff like that. And when we talk about music, most people know that Cuba is quite strong musically, and is famous in the world for its music. But when I say globally, and when I put it that way, what I mean is, and this is the part that sort of confuses people. I gained full musical identity in Canada. When I was in Cuba, I wasn't a singer. Cuba, I have never opened my mouth to sing. The very few times I did it, I wasn't comfortable because my voice is not Cuban. The sound of my voice is not Cuban per se. Cuban voices have different sounds. They are loud as a trumpet, for example, to be able to command a 16 or 18-piece band, and the loud voice has to be there. I have a soulful voice, which is not seen often in Cuban music, and even more in Latin music. So Canada allowed me to discover that voice. And once I discovered, because I had nobody, I didn't have the pressure of a strong culture telling me, no, you're different. No, you're different. You're different. You know what I mean? I found a huge amount of space. And because most people don't speak Spanish in Canada, that never shut me down. That actually, I always saw the language as an incentive for me to become better, to be better all the time. Because something told me from early in my career in Canada that if your music, if what you do is exceptional, if it's beautiful, it will pierce the barrier of language like you have no idea. And so while I didn't have a Latin market right in front of me, I had a market that didn't understand what I was saying. So I took it as, okay, this is the world. I should aim at the world globally, musically, what I do. And that's what I've been meaning I don't, how sounds and even topics, they have an aim culturally on in different societies, like all music done in Miami, for example, has to be rhythmical because people only like dancing, or most people only like dancing. You know what I mean? I like I like it all, and Canada allows me to express myself however I want. My only goal is always to make it beautiful. That's all.
And that you do. So let's talk about your new album, Mendo, and the meaning behind that, and I guess the music that is in this one.
Absolutely. What a year! What a year! That is, it doesn't seem to be quite over yet. But for us, for creators, for musicians, I think it was a moment to really realize how deep it runs, in our veins, and how important it is, and how much it keeps us alive. You know, whoever took that for granted, got to come face to face with it last year. And say, oh my God, thanks God for this song that I'm just writing now. It's giving me the inspiration that I need. To keep going. Um, I received a phone call from CBC Radio, Vancouver, last year, right after Bill Withers passed away. That was almost at the beginning of the pandemic. It was the end of March, at the beginning. And the phone call was to ask me if I would like to participate in a tribute show to Bill Withers they were putting together.
Mhm.
And I tell you, um, I was coming off a really kind of intense moment because I had a long tour in the U.S. that came down, crumbling. It got canceled completely, and I was like, oh, I was so looking forward to do it. Anyway, it took me a couple of days to answer that request until I said, yeah, okay, let's do it. But the request they wanted me, they needed us, they needed everybody that they were inviting. They needed us to record ourselves
Mhm.
and send the song because that everything was shut down, right? And I said, okay. So I set up my studio. I didn't find a better place than my living room to set up my studio. And the way I went, I did record just the two of us,
Oh.
which actually just hit a 1 million streams on Spotify about 3 days ago.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it blows my mind because it's only one guitar and one voice, and I love that. But anyway, um, I say yes, and am I ever happy that I say yes? When I sent them the song, they loved it, and I got an email saying that even some member of their staff, they even cried when they heard the song. It was a very fragile moment. Everybody was like, nobody knew what was going to happen, so we were all very emotional, I think. Um, and that was all it took for me to begin creating, and I didn't stop. And slowly started coming this album, and I started writing songs like no, like crazy, and reaching out to other singers because I ended up having 5 collaborations on the album,
Mhm.
international. But I think everybody was in such a mood, an emotional mood, that creativity was the perfect thing, to let all of that out, right? So they all got back to me immediately, saying yes, yes, and the album put together itself quite easily, I think. Uh, but yeah, it's an album. At some point of the creation of the album, which I titled Mendo, and it was released May 21st. I realized that I didn't want the album to be deemed the album that came out of the pandemic, because that was gonna make me, I don't know, sometime in the future maybe not like the album. And I love the classic appeal of my music. I like the fact that I can go back and listen to my first album and still love it, because I am a classic artist. I have that taste in music. And so I said, you know what? There is not going to be pandemic anywhere on this album. This is
Mhm.
about life and how precious life is, and let's enjoy and unity and hope. So that's the angle I gave it. Mendo, for those of you that want to know what Mendo means.
Mhm.
Mendo is an Afro-Cuban word that I found very meaningful for the moment. It's a very deep word with a lot of layers. Anything that has ability, uh, unmistakable talent, that has unexplainable qualities to it, has Mendo in it. Mendo is something magical. It only comes from the soul, you know.
Oh. Mhm.
And I thought it was the most appropriate thing or term to title my new album.
Wow.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Oh, so I know
Thank
that
you.
I was hoping that you could do an acoustic, but I know that, things were a little rushed. But is there a chance that you could?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I just have to find. Would you give me just a second? I need to
Yeah.
find my
Mhm.
cable. Sarah, what is the case for the in the pocket of the case? There is my cable in there. Unless while I'm talking to you, I'm gonna tune up.
Okay.
Where in Winnipeg are you?
We are in Winnipeg, Manitoba, the capital of
Cool.
Manitoba.
Right in the city. Nice.
I think you were supposed to do a show just before, and then everything shut down.
Yeah.
I think at the Park Theater, Alex.
At the Park Theater. Yeah. From the new album, we can do we can do see how my voice. Hay un disparo de luz en tu sonrisa que se apodera de mí como la brisa que enseña la sensación del movimiento, que no conoce el temor ni el sufrimiento. No es un eclipse del sol, no es un pretexto, no tiene acento ni voz, le sobra el tiempo. Asciende desde el amor, el más honesto. Me enseña todo el honor sin ser su dueño. Tu amor y tu amistad me significan más que todo cuanto pueda existir. ¿Y qué sabía yo de amar sin condición, de sentimientos libres para dos? Nunca te he visto de azul en mi presencia. Ningún error te dejó en la tormenta. Aumentas tu desnudez con inocencia. Me has hecho el hombre que soy sin darme cuenta. Tu amor y tu amistad me significan más que todo cuanto pueda existir. ¿Y qué sabía yo de amar sin condición, de sentimientos libres para dos, de sentimientos libres para dos? Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Oh,
pleasure.
so pleasure. Oh, so great to meet you, Alex. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, next year you'll be coming through to Winnipeg. So we'll
I'm
be
looking
there.
forward to it. It's been a while, so
I know.
can't
Yeah.
wait to go.
Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Okay. You too.
Okay.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Peace and love.